There's a huge nerve in your body that pretty much everything depends on. And I'm not exaggerating right now. It's connected to why your stomach might not be working. Maybe you have an ulcer, problems with your pancreas, constipation, or even your heart. It's already worn out, or you have high blood pressure or arrhythmia. Or maybe premature aging, chronic fatigue syndrome, depression, or apathy. All of this is connected to that nerve. And now scientists and biohackers from all over the world are studying this nerve, because even now it's not 100% understood. And that's the vagus nerve. In this video, I'll tell you where it's located, what it affects, and how you can use exercises to influence its function and improve all the systems in your body. Take a look at this picture behind me. This is the anatomy of the vagus nerve. This nerve branches off from the brainstem. From the brain, it goes down the neck and controls the function of the larynx and our vocal cords. Then it descends into the chest cavity, managing the work of the heart and lungs. Next, along with the esophagus, it passes through the diaphragm and controls the entire digestive system, as well as the kidneys and the reproductive system. And the most interesting thing is that 80% of all its nerve fibers are sensory. And all the information from these sensory fibers is transmitted to the brain. This means that, for example, if you have any diseases of the internal organs or any tension, a constant signal will be sent to the brain, causing worry and anxiety. Some kind of emotional reaction is formed. So let's go through it step by step. Let's start with its effect on the heart and blood vessels. When this nerve is healthy and active, the pulse is low. That is, the heart rate is about 50 to 60 beats per minute. If the pulse increases, this indicates poor functioning of the vagus nerve. Also, if the nerve isn't working well, blood pressure rises and the risk of heart arrhythmia increases. There's another marker, which is heart rate variability, or HRV. In people who are under stress, their heart rate variability drops significantly. And this also indicates something is wrong. It means that the person and their body are burning out. And this can lead to the onset of premature diseases and early aging. The vagus nerve affects the depth of your breath. When the vagus nerve is suppressed, the depth of breathing decreases. Breathing becomes more shallow. The vagus nerve also regulates bronchial tone and the cough reflex. When you practice deep, rhythmic breathing, you stimulate the vagus nerve through these movements. Next, all digestion depends on the vagus nerve. The movement of all food masses inside the intestines, the functioning of all sphincters, the secretion of gastric juice, pancreatic juice, and bile acid. All of this depends on the vagus nerve. If the vagus nerve isn't working, you'll have a lot of problems with your digestive system, and your abdomen will become very hard and painful. You might experience heaviness, bloating, reflux, irritable bowel, and constipation. The vagus nerve also regulates the level of inflammation. So, if this nerve is working well, it suppresses all inflammatory processes. And on the other hand, with poor function, interleukins and TNF-alpha, which is tumor necrosis factor alpha, right? Increase. C-reactive protein levels rise, and it sustains a chronic inflammatory process in our body. By the way, this leads to a host of diseases and premature aging. Next, it affects emotions and brain function. It gathers all the information from our internal organs. And accordingly, depending on the state of our body, it forms a certain picture, certain sensations. So, if you feel anxiety, fear, or other emotional experiences, it's directly connected to the vagus nerve. If this nerve isn't functioning well, you may experience distractibility, chronic fatigue, shallow sleep, or even insomnia. Essentially, depression and anxiety are linked to the vagus nerve. And here's another interesting fact. The vagus nerve affects our face, our throat, and our voice. The thing is, all the facial muscles, they also are connected to the vagus nerve. And if a person is in a state of sympathetic activity, if their vagus nerve is suppressed, fatigue shows up on their face. Wrinkles start to appear. If you lose your voice, that's also connected to vagus nerve dysfunction. You might feel a lump in your throat or tightness and heaviness here, and your voice can even disappear because the vagus nerve innervates the vocal cords. Don't worry if you thought things were already bad. I'll show you an exercise that will help stimulate the vagus nerve. And the first exercise I'll show you to stimulate the vagus nerve involves working with your ears. It's specifically in the area of the ear auricle where the vagus nerve comes to the surface. Simply massaging your ears, just kneading your ears, will do the trick. This has a relaxing effect on the vagus nerve. I recommend just slowly and calmly massaging your ears several times throughout the day, and then grabbing here inside, right here. You'll actually be grabbing a branch of the vagus nerve. Gently pull it to the side and start making these light, pulling movements like this. I even recommend doing this while lying down so that your hands are relaxed and not held up in the air. And take a deep breath in and out. I even recommend using box breathing. You can inhale for 5 seconds, then hold, then exhale for 5 seconds and hold again. Or breathe in for 4 seconds and exhale for 8 seconds. Just by making these circular, massaging movements on your ears for a few minutes, you'll stimulate your vagus nerve. And right after that, you'll notice a feeling of warmth in your ears. You'll feel a sense of relaxation, and you might even start to feel sleepy. That means you just now stimulated your vagus nerve and directly influenced all those functions I was telling you about earlier. The next technique, which is very important, is to work with the area where it passes through. The thing is, it goes through the neck and the entire chest. It goes into the abdomen. And the thing is, the vagus nerve runs together with the esophagus. It's in this area that tension and stiffness appear. This is related to the stimulation of the vagus nerve. So you just need to grab your throat, and this hand goes under your ribs. That is, you place your finger on your stomach and move it slightly downward. Imagine that somewhere in there, if you move your neck, deep inside is the esophagus. Try to catch the sensation of a kind of string. Excellent. It's as if your hands are synchronizing and a string appears. In fact, if you develop perception, as I teach at the Academy, you can very precisely locate the nerve and work with any structure. By developing perception, we can work with very deep structures and do it quickly and effectively. And actually, if you already want to try my course, just follow the link below. I've put together a set for you for free. It's a set of exercises. You can start working holistically with your whole body right now. So, basically, once you've found the esophagus and the vagus nerve, you then do this kind of stretch and then feel as if your hands start to drift toward each other on their own. That is, you start as if you're bending your chest and your finger goes somewhere under the diaphragm. See that? So I'm reducing the space. And after that, you start to stretch. You just take it and stretch. Inhale and exhale. Take another breath in. And after that, you might feel a pleasant warmth along your neck, behind your sternum, and in your stomach. Actually, if you have digestive issues or stomach problems, this technique helps. Those are the right symptoms. If you feel your body relaxing, you get sleepy, your stomach starts working actively, or your pulse begins to drop. All of that means you've stimulated it correctly. The vagus nerve. The third thing is breathing. Just deep breathing, inhaling and slow exhaling. By working with your lungs, you also stimulate the vagus nerve. Take a deep breath in for 5 seconds, then hold for 5 seconds, then exhale deeply for 5 seconds, and hold again for 5 seconds. This is something that's scientifically proven to stimulate the vagus nerve. These are some wonderful techniques. Please write in the comments what you felt and how it went for you. I'd be happy to read them. This was Dr. Alice with you, and see you next time.